I get fan mail to this address, to my home.
Right.
From all over the world. I still get 2-3 pieces of fan mail a day. And it happened to be the school that Meghan Markle, the now
That's right.
Duchess of Sussex, went to.
Yes.
And then invited me to be one of the first 50 stars on the Boulevard. So I was very honored, really.
So today we have a actress, Gigi Perreau, and you have a lot of stories because you've been acting since you were a child. You were a child star, right, Gigi?
Absolutely. I started when I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
What was your first gig? What was your first?
My first gig, which they didn't call them gigs in those days, but my first film was at MGM Studios called Madame Curie. And I played Eve Curie as a baby, and Margaret O'Brien was my older sister. So I was 2, Margaret was about 5, and that was sort of the beginning. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Wow.
What are some other acting roles that you played?
Well, I did about 40 films. Anyone who cares or who has time, and probably everybody has time right now with the pandemic, to Google me, because I did about 40 films, maybe 100 guest TV shows. I've done theater. When I was 4, I actually did a couple of radio shows. So I've kind of run the gamut of the entertainment business.
Wow, that's so awesome. And our mutual friend Joan actually recorded when you were on the Brady Bunch, and I saw that with her.
Oh,
you were on the Brady Bunch?
I did a Brady Bunch, and I tell you, Kelly, everybody that I have ever run across, and I'm not kidding, no one has not seen the Brady Bunch, because evidently it's on. They've shown it on cable, and they keep showing them over and over and over. So when I say I'm the teacher from the Brady Bunch, they go, "Oh, no, the one that, he was in love with." Yeah. Anyway, it's very funny. That was a good fun time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's great. And not only that, you have a star on the Hollywood Boulevard Walk of Fame, right?
Yes, I do. I had
I didn't know that.
I had one of the first 50. One of the first 50 stars, and I was there actually on my phone, my whatever you call that, my the whatever it comes up when you open it up is a picture of me and Linda Darnell with the shovels in our hand, and we in 1959 dug the first groundbreaking for the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they invited me to be there for the groundbreaking, and then invited me to be one of the first 50 stars on the Boulevard. So I was very honored, really.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, your family, were they in show business? Was your family in show business, Gigi, or was it
Not my parents. Not my parents. My brother ended up doing quite a few films as a child, and my sister Janine did a few. Neither one of them really loved it as much as I did. I just had a wonderful time and worked all the time, went to my regular school when I wasn't doing a movie. To me, it was really a lovely, very, very fulfilling childhood. Very different childhood, but certainly one that I guess I was meant to do.
Yeah, I mean, you loved it so much is really refreshing to hear, because you hear so many stories about childhood actresses or actors,
Yes.
that were
forced. No, there's some. Well, I think the problem is it depends on the families. My parents were very supportive, but also very down to earth. And I remember my dad saying to me, Gigi, she was French, had this great French accent. He said, Gigi, I would be just as proud of you if you were a plumber. And he went on and on. He said, and doing your very best. That's all you have to do in life, is to do your very best. So he kind of kept everything in perspective for me,
How lucky you were that you had such great down-to-earth parents.
Yes, and my mother, Kimbra, as you may know, just turned 103.
103, and she's still alive and kicking.
Well, kicking slowly kicking. Yeah.
She's doing a tap dance, but it's an eighth,
Right.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's great.
Well, what was your favorite role? Do you have any stories or?
There are several. it's interesting because as an actor, you kind of have to kind of fall in love with whatever it is you're doing,
Right.
because moment that's your favorite because you're
Sure.
doing it
Right.
and
Right.
you want it to be your best. I think there was a Rifleman I did called the episode is called Heller, and I know it's available on YouTube. And it's a Rifleman with Chuck Connors.
Yeah.
And I think I was about 16, and it was a really very, very engrossing. It was a wonderful role. And when I got the script, I said, I have to do this. I did have to go interview for it, but I talked to the director and I said, I have to do this. And that really is one of my favorite roles. Also, I enjoyed working on, as slightly older, when I was 15, 16, I did Man in the Grey Flannel Suit with Frederick March and Gregory Peck.
Wow.
And then just a lot of fun TV guest shots, 77 Sunset Strip, Hawaiian Eye. I had a TV series called Follow the Sun with 3 guys that were detectives, and I was kind of the gal Friday. And that was filmed at Fox Studios. So I've done a lot of things. And recently, after my kids were grown, I have 4 kids, I I started teaching theater, first at Notre Dame in the Valley and then at Immaculate Heart High School in Hollywood. And I taught there for 23 years, headed up the theater department there, and directed. I think while I was there, I did 46 different plays and musicals. So it was pardon me, it was lovely to be able to give back, number one, but it was very fascinating teaching, which I had never done in my life. And I think I learned more teaching than I ever learned doing anything else in my life. It was just an amazing opportunity. Pardon me, goodness gracious.
Do you need some water?
I think I'm okay. If I take a quick break, you'll know I'm getting water.
Okay.
No, teaching gave me an opportunity to work with, and it was an all-girls school. And it happened to be the school that Meghan Markle, the now Duchess of Sussex, went to. Yes. And that, about 2 years ago, when their engagement was announced, my life changed from being rather normal and drab to having people approaching me from all over the world to do interviews. What was she like in high school? What was, all of that. And it was fascinating, but, so many people just wanted dirt.
Sure,
they didn't want to know the good, wonderful things. And Meghan was an adorable girl, a wonderful student. Her dad worked very hard with us, doing all the technical things, because he was a lighting designer for ABC. And he did my lights, helped build the sets, brought the kids food. And, he was just amazing. And Meghan enjoyed working at that time with me and with her dad and all that. And, they keep wanting to know what is the dirt, what happened between the two of them. There was this break. And I said, I have no idea. These are humans. These are people.
Right.
People have problems with their families, and you have to allow them to be who they are and not judge. So all the things I've done before I even agree to do an interview, I say, no dirt. You're not going to get anything negative from me. So if that's what you want, find somebody else. And they go, no, that's okay. We can deal with the truth sometimes. No, but it's Meghan is, I'm sure, still a lovely young woman, and I wish them all the best. I mean, I can't imagine the pressures and everything that go along with where she is at this point. But I was brought to London by ITV.
Wow.
And my daughter and I went, and guests of ITV, and got to go to the wedding and I commentated the wedding and so on.
Oh, the Meghan and Harry wedding?
Yes.
The wedding. The wedding. The only wedding that matters.
The wedding. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to be specific.
I just wanted to make sure, because that's a big deal.
It was a big deal, and it was lovely to be there. It really was.
I bet.
Gigi, I saw online, you can tell me if this is true or not, that when her carriage rode by, she recognized you. And
it seemed that way. I don't think she had any idea or knew that I was going to be there for ITV. But when the carriage came by, there was no question. She was waving on the other side, and I was right there at the fence with a little pendant that said Immaculate Heart on it, school on it. So I don't know whether that caught her eye.
Sure,
but,
sure.
As she turned, she looked, and there was an instant of recognition.
Right.
And of course, the carriage kept going. The horses didn't stop.
Right.
So,
right.
And the people standing next to me said, she recognized you. And some of them had been taping it, or using their cameras and getting pictures of it, and it went viral. Meghan Markle recognizes her former teacher, whatever.
Aww.
So I don't know if she really did or not. One of these days, I would hope that I'm going to get to see her again.
Right.
And I'll ask her, but I know there's probably a little bit of tension still because of the past and because of my friendship with her dad and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm just, letting things, hoping, wishing for the best for the two of them.
Her dad seems like a really nice guy. You read a lot of negative stuff in the press, but from what you told me, he sounded like he was so involved, Oh,
he was very involved. And he really is a very nice guy. He's a little intimidating just by his size. He's like 6'3" and a big guy, but he's just a big teddy bear. And I think he got some very, very poor advice. I wish he had gotten advice from the palace, from someone in the royal family, not the family, but the people that direct them and tell them what to do and so on. I wish I'd gotten a little advice from them. He didn't. And he's now living in Mexico, very quiet life, and hoping that one day the rift, whatever happened, will be over, and he would love to see his grandson. And,
I read somewhere too, maybe if this is true or not, that he actually won the lottery or something like that. Is that true? Do you know about that?
I'm not sure. So not the law. I think he won $100,000 and some at one point on the lottery. That may be true.
How lucky is that, if that's true?
Nice.
Yeah, but I think it was quite a while ago. And he helped Meghan through college and her career, and he was always on Facebook saying Meghan's going to be on when she was on Deal or No Deal.
Oh, Deal or No Deal.
And the different things that she did. So it was always kind of great fun to keep up with her career. And then she got Suits and moved up to Canada, and that was sort of. I don't know. I didn't hear much after that, but as I said, once the engagement was announced, I mean, I had people. I live in a little townhouse, my little stairs going up to my bedroom, and it's gated. In other words, to get in, you have to have a clicker to get in, and I had people knocking on my door that had waited for someone to drive in, who had walked in, found my place, my little place, and knocked on the door, said, "Can we interview you or talk to you about Meghan Markle?" And I mean, it was stunning to think that they came into my home. People know my address. They know. I mean, once social media just exploded, there are no secrets. Everyone knows when I was born, how old I am, where I live. I get fan mail to this address, to my home, from all over the world. I still get 2-3 pieces of fan mail a day. And what's interesting, Kimbra and Kelly, is that many of these people who ask for an autograph or send me a picture and say, "Would you please sign it?" are very young, which to me is extremely optimistic about the future of the motion picture business and the history of films and television. Because the last one I got yesterday was from a 16-year-old in Germany.
Aww.
Wow.
And he said, "I'm a huge fan," and he started listing all the films that I've done. And could you please sign, sent me a picture for me to sign. And I thought, a 16-year-old, and I'm going to be 80 next year.
Wow.
So it's
Gigi, that is amazing. That gives me hope too, because you wouldn't think that people that age would even care about like old films,
older people. Absolutely.
They're seeing those shows though, and now with streaming, and there's endless numbers of movies out there. So
yes,
seeing your movies and your shows, your TV shows.
Yeah, it is fun. Well, what I'm enjoying too now is you can see the gray hairs here all over.
I have them too.
And a ponytail, a little tiny ponytail. I normally have short hair, and of course it's not this color. It's a totally different color. But
actually, I like this look on you, Gigi.
My daughter likes it. She says, "Mom, don't color it yet, since we're all still staying at home, basically." I mean, I go to the market. I do my mother's marketing, and we go once a week to visit my mother and be together, my two sisters. Since I'm not doing anything except some of these Zoom things and I thought, well, what the heck? Maybe it'll. Yeah.
Actually, Gigi, I like this look on you. It's very sophisticated, elegant.
Well, you are a beautiful lady. You are beautiful.
Kelly, thank you so much. You two are gorgeous. And I don't know, Kelly, do you know, have you heard Kimbra sing? Do you know what an incredible talent she is?
I don't know if I get to be called her #1 fan, but I'm trying to be her #1 fan. Yes, her voice.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I've seen several of her shows. Yeah. And
thank you, Gigi. She gives me little tips too. She's like, that was good in the opening, and then you got to come on. She's still a teacher. She's still a teacher.
I can't help it. I can't help it. Kind of, you become everybody's mom. Sort of, and only, and I would only say anything to you, Kimbra, if I didn't love you and just want it to be even better,
Oh no,
you could never stop learning.
No, I agree. I actually told one of my friends that. I said, Gigi's going to help me with my next show. She's going to, show me when to do this and do that. She's like, well, how do you feel about that? And I was like, I like it. I want her help,
Oh, absolutely. I think every performer, let's face it, we've heard of actors who've directed themselves in things, and it's never been as successful as a third eye. You need someone else out there kind of guiding, and just because we all have our own idea of what we want to do and how we want to do it, but sometimes doing it a slightly different way makes the impact bigger, making an entrance, for instance. Sure, I told another singer who Bonnie Bowden, and I said, Bonnie, she was singing at this little club, and I said, start singing off stage. Let the musicians play and let your voice, and then come on stage. And there you'll be in front of the microphone. I said, because it'll be kind of a wow. We hear the voice. Where's it coming from? Right. And then all of a sudden you appear and you do it. Terrific entrance. Much better than just standing there waiting for.
I like that. I like that idea. Song. Yeah,
and it really works very nicely. So they're just little fun things from a visual aspect. And I must admit, I love acting, and I've always loved acting, but I love directing as well, because to me, as an actor, you really have to trust and follow what the director wants you to do, whether you like it or not. You can argue a little, but basically it's their vision. They've hired you. You do what they want. But when you're the director, then you are the one really in charge. Well, and so it's different artistically. The satisfaction is different from being an actor or being a director. They're both incredible, and but it's interesting. It's fun. It's fun.
I would think as the director, you have to step into everybody. You have to see the vision for everyone, not just one. As an actor,
right? And you not only see the vision, but you also have to deal with the sometimes very fragile egos of actors.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's just a way. It's more of knowing how to deal with people than anything else to be a good director. Yep. Because once you have their confidence, once they know that you're there for them. Yep. It makes a whole different scenario. So
it's definitely a skill that takes a lot of different talents and skills to be a director.
Absolutely,
that's true. That's true. And I do think actors make good directors, though. I do, because I think they can relate to what they're going through.
Absolutely.
So well, I look forward to getting directed by you once we are up and out again.
Once we're up and running. Yes.
I was going to say, I told Gigi that. I said, once, we can go out amongst the people, I want to take her and Joan out to dinner, because our mutual friend Joan is like, I can't take the food anymore.
Yeah, you want to go out.
No, I think people are getting very, very tired. I'm looking at my front door, and I've got one of my masks hanging there. So even if I go out and take my doggie for a walk, I put on the mask just in case. I do it, really to just be a good example to the people that live here. Many of them are not wearing masks when they go out, but I certainly don't want to judge. But I just like to be a good example and say, let's do this and get this over with.
Exactly. Kelly and I were just talking about that previously. We were saying, I said, I don't like wearing a mask. I go, but let's get this over with, you know?
Yeah. No one likes to wear them, but we understand that we need to so that we can not wear them.
Sure. That's right. That's right.
So,
well, and I mean, let's face it, people who say our civil rights are being, we put on a seatbelt. I grew up without a seatbelt in my mom's car, and her arm like this would be in the front seat was my seatbelt.
Yeah.
And thank God we all survived and lived. But once seatbelts came on, and you had to have a seatbelt, I really had to think before I even put a little Dymo labeler on my front of my car saying "buckle up," because I wasn't used to doing that. And I notice now any child that I pick up, my granddaughter who lives with me, and I also have a child that I'm her legal guardian whose mother passed away, and they just get in the car and put their seatbelt on. It's just like you close the door, you do it, and it's not a big deal. And I stop at red lights and, things like that I'm supposed to do. So if they're saying it's mandatory to do this for now, I'm going to do it. It's so much easier. There's so much more energy that we have to expend to be negative.
That's true.
It really is so much easier to just get along and do it. And I don't know. I'm sort of a goody two shoes. I don't know. Some people would say probably in a bad way, but it's just I don't know. I think life's so short, and I think it's so nice to be pleasant and unhappy and try to find the best in people than find the worst in them.
Oh, I agree. That's sort of my philosophy. But sometimes I'm too Pollyanna-ish, But
my mother I've been named Pollyanna by my family because I tend to see the good in people. But I'm more of a rebel. I'm more of a stir in the pot kind of person, because I think we have to do that too. We can't do it the other way. So,
on our podcast, on our podcast, Kelly's bad cop, I'm good cop sometimes, right?
Yeah. Well, because
I think it's great what you're doing. I
want people to think. I just try to get people to think deeper, because I think we've all been kind of numb to what's going on around us, and we have our little life. And if your life's going well, you just kind of do your thing and don't really pay attention to anyone else and what's going on in the world. And I think we've done that for too long, and now things have gone on that now we have a mess and we need to start cleaning it up. So that's why I'm a little bit more of a rebel.
Well, I'm a cross between the two, because when I see something that isn't right, I'm right there fighting it, protesting it, adding my name to whatever. I remember my kids growing up. I have 4 children, and growing up, if they'd say, "Oh, so-and-so, the teacher was really," I would go talk to the teacher, and believe me, 95% of the time I said, "I'm on the side of your teacher. You didn't listen."
Right. That's what my mom always said.
And I said, because you were wrong. I'm not going to stick up for you if you're wrong, if you make a mistake. You have to figure it out for yourself.
But nowadays, a lot of the parents are fighting against the teacher and sticking up for the kid. What does the kid learn from that when they're wrong?
Right. Exactly.
Right. And the kid that gets a little trophy for coming in last in the race. Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. And I think that's maybe one of the problems with the young people these days, is they're too used to being, whatever they do, they get accolades.
Sure.
And they have nothing to strive for. Well, you run and you're the slowest, and you still get a trophy. Hey, I don't have to run any faster. I don't have to do any better in my life because I get a trophy for not doing it. So they need encouragement. They need I think we're not getting terribly good examples right now in our country. I'm sorry. I'm just and this is just strictly about the COVID thing. But to see a gathering of 1,500 people, for instance, at the White House the other night with no one wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Right. We're being told the best way to help with this virus is to wear a mask. To me, it just shows such a lack of leadership and an example. And I just somehow wish that maybe we didn't focus on that, or we didn't have to show that, because.
Well, and we've even had some prominent people die of COVID, like Herman Cain died of COVID, and you think that would have set an example for, that group of people.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to care.
No, you're absolutely right, Gigi. We were also talking about that earlier too, from the federal example, from the federal level, we need more leadership, and but it's become political, unfortunately.
Yes, yes. Everything right now is political or financial or money.
Right.
Which is political too.
Yeah.
It ends up being political.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway, it's been wonderful talking with you, Gigi.
Yeah.
I know you got things to do today, so.
Yeah.
Like clean your house.
Few,
No,
not too many, but I'm delighted to be able to do this because I love Kimbra, and when she said what you ladies were doing, I want to be as supportive as possible. I think it's great and very creative of the two of you.
Yeah.
So
well, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Yes.
You've done way more than I even knew. So I will be looking you up and learning a little bit more about your background. But
anyway, ladies, thank you so much. Have a great day. Be safe.
You
safe.
too.
And Kimbra, you keep in touch so that I can know what's going on.
Yeah, I will,
All
Gigi.
right.
Thank you so much. Have
Bye-bye.
a good day.
Bye, Gigi. Really nice to meet you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.